Hello, good morning, and welcome to listening experience number 4 for Jazz Band. Today we are talking about Sidney Bechet. He was known for playing the clarinet and the saxophone, specifically soprano saxophone. He was really well known for this particular recording of Summertime, which has become one of the most popular jazz standards, and it was written by George Gershwin. He and his brother did, George and Ira Gershwin did lots of show tunes, so this one was very popular. He played saxophone with a whole bunch of different big bands during the 20s and 30s and 40s. He played with Duke Ellington for a while, and apparently he had a pretty bad habit of bringing his dog with him on stage during concerts, and that wasn't really okay with Duke Ellington, so he got fired. Released from his contract is the formal term. So the recording you're going to listen to of Summertime features Sidney Bechet on the soprano saxophone. He became very famous mostly in Europe. He made a bit of a name for himself in the U.S., but when he moved over there, that's when he became more of a household name in the jazz world. This particular recording was one of the very first big hits for Blue Note Records. And they're still going, and they do a lot of amazing jazz recordings. So if you're looking for something to listen to in the jazz styles, look up Blue Note Records. There was an autobiography published after he died. So it was a book he had written about himself, but it wasn't published until posthumously, called Treat It Gentle. And you can look that up, see if you want to read a little bit more about this. He started playing clarinet when he was young, like 6 years old. He heard his brother playing it and thought it sounded fun, so he stole it from his brother and probably got a lot better for him. At the end of his life, he did live in Europe. Specifically, he lived in Paris, and he made lots and lots of recordings when he was over there and played all over cafes and concert halls and everywhere. One of the interesting things he did, in 1941, he recorded a pop song called The Sheik of Araby, and he played 6 different instruments on this recording by overdubbing. So he would play the recording back and play over the top of it. That's pretty common nowadays, but back then he was one of the very first people to do it. I mean, this is 1941, so that was, rather early. He was considered a Creole musician. He came out of New Orleans, and the Creoles, a lot of people kind of lumped them in with African Americans, but specifically the Creole culture, they came from a mixing of the races with, the imported slaves mixing with other, the white slave owners, frankly, and also a lot of the Caribbean islands, because that's where a lot of them came from, to New Orleans. It was, the huge melting pot. So he was a product of that, and he was known as a Creole musician. There were lots of them, and we'll study more of them as we go. So on the slideshow here, if you skip down here and click on Summertime at the top, that will take you to this wonderful little recording, and you get to watch the ad, which is never fun. So we'll skip the ad if we can. There we go, skip ad. So he recorded this in 1939, New York City. Starts out with the bass and the guitar there. Kind of plays a little duet with the guitar. And you hear the very fast vibrato. That was the style at the time, how they did it. Okay, I'm not going to play the entire recording for you now because you can listen to that later. Just click on the link at the top of this thing on Schoology. So, okay, that's a little bit about Sidney Bechet. Hope you had a great time.